Inspiration is a funny thing, isn't it? If you've ever listened to any of my recent music, you'll probably assume that I grew up mainlining James Taylor and Jackson Browne and Dan Fogelberg and Gordon Lightfoot. And well, you wouldn't be far off. I mean, I love that stuff. And it comes out in the way I write, in the way I do lyrics, the way I structure songs, and in most of the music that I perform personally. But I grew up in a house that loved swing, big band, and jazz, and started out playing trumpet myself. And so it was just an amazing growing up. My dad allowed me to see pretty much all the bands that were still touring from the post-war era, and to be able to see the great Count Basie and his orchestra and the magic that happens when incredible musicians that understand the structure but also have an incredible imagination and a mastery of their instruments turn a plain song into something that is just heavenly. And I love that kind of music, and I do write it from time to time because it's in my head. It's in my personal melodic understanding, the way of interplay of one melody to another, and so I had the opportunity last year when Ray Reach, who is an incredible arranger and pianist, member of the Jazz Hall of Fame here in Alabama. He asked if I could let him use one of the songs he'd heard me write for an upcoming album called Rhythm and Salvation that he was producing with the great Steve Gadd, the drummer, of course, from Steely Dan. But he's been on hundreds of albums. He's James Taylor's drummer of choice. And on top of that, he said, oh, by the way, my good friend Blue Luna Marini, the great sax player from the day he was in the Blues Brothers, the guy walking up down the counter. He was in the original band Blood, Sweat, and Tears. And then, of course, has played on hundreds of albums for so many different people, always showing up on James Taylor's stuff and others. And so it was like, oh, these worlds are coming together in an incredible way. And so it was just a great opportunity for me to be able to see music like that come to life, not just in my head, but actually in the studio. And so we recorded it last fall. And I couldn't resist. When I came to the studio, I brought a whole bunch of cameras, and so I had everybody be filmed as they were doing their performance of the song. And it's just now coming together. The album is not out yet. It will be out in a couple of months. But this last week, what I spent myself time doing is editing a video of this performance. And I can't get the thing out of my head now. But it's just so much fun to see people like an incredible vocalist, Joe Granston, a young soul who sounds like an old soul, who has not only got this voice from the 50s era kind of singing, but he is a monster bebop trumpet player. So he brought also another solo into the piece. So hearing from Lou and hearing from Joe and having the bass just being motored through like it was floating on air with the great Allison Presswood from Nashville. This was truly a wonderful venture for me. We did most of the recording here in the great Bates Brothers recording studio with Eric Bates at the board. Also spent some time over at Tree Sound Studios catching a couple of other tracks. And it was just a big, just a treat for me. Incredible time to focus in on the kind of music that I love but don't get to do a whole lot. And I hope you'll enjoy it. It's really amazing. I was able to celebrate a lot of the influences that I don't usually get to celebrate, and to be able to turn now something that people can watch and see the music happen. I love that. And so, I'm bringing in different skill sets than just my songwriting, but I am so grateful to Ray and Steve for believing in the song and seeing it turn out to be like this, and can't wait for the public to hear it. It'll be coming up soon. Make sure that you're subscribed to this channel and that you hit the little bell for notifications so that you can know as soon as this thing comes out, because you're going to want to hear the whole album. It is going to be probably one of the biggest albums of the year as far as jazz music is concerned. And I hope you'll enjoy it. And I hope that wherever you find your inspiration, whether it's in music or art or in the people around you, I hope it helps you stay creative.